Bob Perks tells the story of something he overheard in an airport once. A father and daughter were standing near the security gate, and it was now time to say goodbye. They hugged, and he said to his daughter, "I wish you enough." And she in turn said, "Daddy, I wish you enough too." And when the opportunity presented itself later on, Bob asked that dad what they meant by that. And he said, "That's a wish that has been handed down from other generations in our family. My parents used to say it to everyone. When we said, 'I wish you enough,' we were wanting the other person to have a life filled with just enough good things to sustain them, and maybe even just enough loss and heartache to keep them awake." Maybe that word, enough, is just the right wish. Just the right wish for us to give each other and for ourselves. How would you define the word enough? What does enough mean to you? If we were aware of what really went on inside of us, and if we were really honest with ourselves, I think most of us think of enough as more, always more. It's never really enough. Often, without realizing it, we feel we don't have enough. We don't have enough love. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough money. We need more love. We need more time. We need more money. We need more fun. We need more security. We always need more and more and more. Many things, it seems to me, feed that sense that we don't have enough. On Facebook, on Instagram, as soon as someone posts a picture of a party or their new pool or whatever, we can be so tempted to think, I'm missing out. I don't have that. Or here I am doing laundry, helping my spouse who's sick. And of course, most people who post a picture of themselves on Facebook or Instagram on vacation don't also tell you they just had a huge fight the night before. They don't tell you about the loneliness they feel there that made them be other than themselves and send you this picture, not even present to what they were doing with their spouse and their kids, and in this beautiful place, because they were so busy telling you what you were missing. We don't see that on Facebook and Instagram. We just see another reminder that we ourselves don't have that now, and we need more. HGTV, the home shopping network, the lifestyles of the rich and the famous suggest almost everyone seems to be having such a wonderful life, but you. And so one commercial, one advertisement after another really is saying to us, if you only purchase that home, that vacation, those wood blinds. I know a couple that had a fight because over wood blinds. That car, that whatever, then you'll be happy. Then you're going to measure up to the neighbors. Then you won't be wanting. Until then, you just don't have enough. And we start going for it. We start biting that baited hook, and we're reeled in by the world. Without realizing it, what's happened is we've become greedy. Greedy. We start striving after more, and it becomes this monster within us, restless, pacing, insatiable, until it consumes more and more and more. It's never satisfied, and it roars its rage when it's not appeased. For this monster, the more it has, the more it wants. And this monster is what's at the root of what we do to this planet, what we do to this beautiful earth, in taking and consuming and taking and consuming. It's this monster that is at the root of our infidelity in marriage, and we always wonder if this is supposed to be what it's like, and if this is enough for me. This woman, this man, these kids. It's at the root of so much of my and our restlessness, I think. It's this monster that leads to gluttony in our eating. It's what's at the root of violence and war after war after war. It's at the root of our dishonesty at work and resentment in our families. And I'd suggest to you that there are few things that steal our happiness more than our greed. Our greed. In today's gospel, Jesus tells us of a man who had become greedy. Jesus uses harsh words for this man. He says, "You fool! You fool! Do you see how greedy you've become? You fool!" I couldn't say that when I was a kid. And here's the Messiah and Lord saying, "You fool." Does he say that to us? In those moments when we're getting greedy again, does he say to us, "You fool, Gary"? Jesus knows how seductive and yet unfulfilling this feeling that we don't have enough becomes for us, and the false promise of more, and the greediness that it keeps yielding. How do we keep letting ourselves fall for this? What it comes down to is that we don't believe in God anymore. No, I'm not talking about them, those atheists over there, or those unchurched people over there. I'm talking about us, right here at this Mass. We can say we believe in God all we want, but when push comes to shove, in that moment when I'm greedy, and that monster is rearing its horrifying, distorted face, it's because at least in that moment, I have not believed, which is to say, trusted in God. I have not let God be alive and God for me. I have not let God, who promised that he would be, I have not let God be enough for me. The God who's in every single marriage, in every single home, in every single job, in every single place, in every single circumstance, including the bad ones. We don't let God be enough for us. And at least in practice, my friends, in that moment, and you've heard me say this before, and it's just the truest thing, in that moment, I am an atheist. I don't care what I say I believe up here. In that moment, I'm not trusting, which is to believe. If I let God be the first and the last thing I turn to every day, and as much as possible in every situation, the one I turn to there and trust is there, I will see that there's always more than what I see right now, right here, and I have enough. This is the God who gives us my daily bread, who promised that would be true. I have enough. There's enough in this marriage. There's enough in this church. There's enough in this neighborhood. There's enough in this city. There's enough in my life because God's in it. I have my God whose incredible goodness and incredible gifts are truly all that I need. And also, all that will truly satisfy me. No thing, no one, no event will ever truly satisfy me, because no thing or no one or no event is God but God. Yet, we keep settling for cheap substitutes, which will never fulfill. It is what Jesus meant when he said, you know, Gary, you can't serve two masters. You will always love one and hate the other. Is there an antidote to this greed? To this monster? Indeed there is. It's the only antidote I know. It's to be grateful. To be grateful for what is, for what I have, for who I am, that I have enough. Chances are I have more than enough. I have way more than I need of love, of money, of things, of days. Truth is, there is enough in this world for everyone's need, but there's not enough in this world for everyone's greed. There is enough in this world for everyone's need, but there is not enough in this world for everyone's greed. And because of my faith, my mantra needs to be, I have enough. I am enough. This is enough. Try it on. Let's do that thing we did a few weeks ago again. Humor me if you would. Go with me. Turn to one of your neighbors, and it's okay if it's your spouse because they need to know that you believe this. Turn to your neighbor right now, look him in the eye, and repeat after me, neighbor, oh neighbor. I have enough. I am enough. Wow. I hope you heard yourself say it. This stuff matters to God, you guys. It really does. This I know. Gratitude in my life, gratitude for my life, leads to trust. I start to see what's been here all along in my gratitude. I start to see all these gifts, and it becomes easier and easier to trust that those are going to be there tomorrow. I don't have to grab and hoard and possess. I begin to trust the promise of God to be everything for me and more, and that God will not fail in providing me for one day at a time every day of my life. And trust, this synonym for faith. So my gratitude leads to trust. My trust is faith, and faith keeps God front and center of my life. This is what it means to be a believer. It's what it means to truly be able to say, as we will in just a few minutes, I believe in God. That's just what it means. Back at that airport, that man saying goodbye to his daughter, he later on shared the rest of that prayer, the rest of the prayer that was passed on from generation to generation in his family. And it goes like this. I wish you enough, son, to keep your attitude bright I wish you enough rain to appreciate the sun more. I wish you enough happiness to keep your spirit alive. I wish you enough pain, so that the smallest joys in life appear so much bigger. I wish you enough gain to satisfy your wanting. I wish you enough loss to appreciate what you have. And I wish you enough hellos to get you through the final goodbye. The good news is, we have enough. We are enough. This is enough. And only when we trust that with every fiber of our being will enough be enough.